Hello, everybody. The Bridge. I've been wanting to tackle political correctness for a while. Come from a white nationalist who was originally part of Hitler's youth brigade. Further back, also going into Germany. The guy's name was Karl Marx. It's not like Germany can't look up his birth records, his political party records, and everything in between. He converted a lot of Hitler's teachings when Hitler rose to power after the First World War that he was a part of. You know? Hitler brainwashed his own people. And with Karl Marx political affiliations with the Nazi right. I mean, they use terms like anti-fascist when it's actually the exact opposite. They use terms like privilege when they damn well know that communism has majority of the world's money. This is not capitalism that's taken over. Part of the reason why I was fighting so much is because I didn't fit the quota of what Karl Marx himself spoke about. But because I refuse to admit of being guilty of something that I have absolutely no control over. And yeah, I am talking about slavery, and that's on all fronts. I have no control over that. Why the hell do we have a party when a lot of us regular white people, mixed or otherwise, even acknowledge our other half? When we go off and fight these wars to free Jews, to free Africans in Africa, Asians, everywhere else, but yet we're still an enemy to groups like Antifa, to groups like NAMBLA, which NAMBLA is currently still infiltrating the gay community. I've stated that over and over and over again. Just like communism has infiltrated the black community, which is where white privilege comes from. That's a racial communism. It's also a major part of Hitler's plan of segregating us further. Again, it's called Google. Again, you can look up every detail. It's called investigative work. I should be able to say whatever I want. Just like I've said in the past, if I'm going to go off on a whole community, I'm going to do it. But since I've never done that, ever, if I want to deal with stress the way I do, by calling somebody a fruity booty fucking homo, I think I have the right. You know, being called a cracker, being called all this other racial, fucking terms, white cloud, snowflake, all of that. But yet, when the left does that to me, which forces me in a situation to have to protect myself, haven't we had enough of that, people? That's a lot of what my case was the political correctness from the left that stated just because I didn't look like them in a classical way, that made me a part of the privileged few. Communism needs to be fully exposed. as the fascists that it is, that has infested the minds of not just black people, but the Chinese government and its weird obsession of control over the one China policy. When Taiwan is a breakaway province, they have a right to exist on their own. Peacefully. They don't deny being Chinese. It's where they came from, and they shouldn't. Chinese culture is awesome. It's where we have Kung Fu from and various other ancient traditions. I would still like to see eventually one day the Great Wall of China. But we can't make a joke even to deal with stress? You know, this was a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing. Nobody was expecting that jackass to hover over me like that. Or the neighborhood as a whole. Annoying both sides that are left. No, the other side specifically. What I showed was a great deal of coherence tonight. Because I didn't want it to come to that. That guy was surely getting on my nerves. I'm pretty sure others as well. I really didn't want it to come to that. I don't like resorting to violence. I never did. But political correctness has been a big plague in our society. And before the left wing starts talking shit about the white people and slavery, why not look up? I'm not talking about the Founding Fathers' day of when they brought this country into existence. Officially. And I'm not talking about the colonies. I'm talking about the Revolutionary War. 1776. I'm talking about the actual physical foundation of the Democratic Party. And all of its anti-black laws that it was passing, including the color code, which prevented black people that were forced over here through Muslim slave owners who sold them to white slave owners, which is one of the reasons why I pleaded to the Masons to expose the entire history of slavery. All cultures did it to each other. It's a tragic mistake. It's tragic. But political correctness is a big form of slavery. To not even be able to joke to deal with stress at a spontaneous moment. I'm sorry, that has to be called out. Truly does. And since I know how those T11 phones work, I'm going to put this on the UN first. All the data could be fucking looked up about this shit. I'm sick and tired of this crap. But thank you, Mr. President and Trump, both, for dealing with that jackass pilot, which I did not want that to happen. That's for the other New Testament believers in the military. I hope you could get the help you need. I'm doing it. There's nothing wrong with therapy. Nothing wrong with it at all, you know. Just helped me out in a big way. Bluebird's really good at her job with therapy. She's really good at it. But there are therapists she can recommend. She's dealing with my case alone was stressful on homegirl. But I didn't want it to come to violence. I never wanted it to come to violence. It's only because I'm backed into a corner when the stupid side shows. I really prayed that that wasn't going to happen. I really prayed. But political correctness and communism that has infested the left wing. Why do you think people on the right call it what it is? Because it's like, hey, you're judging our past. Even though Abe Lincoln was a part of the Union Party first, which all that could be looked up, the man's never said anything racist in his writings. That would have been a thing in school a long time ago. They have a website for the Congressional Library that you could look up every dark legislation, including taking gun rights away from black people with the color code, which is the original form of gun control in this country. I even think the modern politicians on both sides have truly forgotten their roots, the real roots. Again, Google it. And if it looks deceptive, wait till after the solar eclipse. And then you can get the truth out there. The evil people that were a part of the illicit lodges scandal. That has all been dealt with. I'm glad. And in all honesty, I am just fine with the real history of the world finally getting told the way it should be. That would help me with the recovery too. Political correctness is a disease. It says that it's okay for one person who is a part of the other side, that is communist, to adopt all these fascist policies from Hitler's brigade. It just bastardized everything further. All Karl Marx did was almost finish the job. And I'm a bridge, and I'm trying to get both sides, white and black, to officially recognize Karl Marx as a culturalist or anti-culturalist that he is. Both sides need to come to agree on that. Hitler brainwashed his own people. What the hell makes you think Karl Marx gives a fuck about any communist leader for dividing all of us? That's the one China policy. In China with Xi Jinping. Mr. Ping, sir, you should consider reading on a free internet in your country the information on Karl Marx and where the jackass came from. I don't want to see people suffer anymore. We've seen enough of that on this planet. You know? Very much seen enough. I don't like fighting, I never did. And I only ever tried to use it as a form of self-defense. There's only been a few times that I've had to, and I regret it. Glad I helped people in the process. But look at where violence got me in my situation. Which the Andersons, they knew I was set up, but still. Karl Marx was setting the world up for disaster. And Karl Marx did not care about Ping, did not care about the leaders in Japan, that's Tokyo, anywhere. Not even the Middle East. In the Middle East, they do honor rapings there. What's honor and rape? And I know it's not all Muslims. I shouldn't have to articulate that part constantly. It's annoying, and I have to say something about it now. And I will send it to the UN first. and then I'll send it to the president, and then I'll send it to Leanna,